like if you look at this from Russia's perspective, this is just they're going to keep on fighting as long as it gets fueled. Like the sending money and fighting a proxy war is not really, it's not really sending a message of peace.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's the Western countries that are funding this are obviously talking to both sides of the mouth all the time. You know, this war needs to end. Here, take some more tanks. You know, it's I think the notion of like you all you have to do is go back, a year and a half, and look at how the headlines are being written about how, oh, this is a walk-off victory for Ukraine. This is going to be over before it starts. The Russians are, bleeding resources and troops, and obviously that's just not the case. And Russia has obviously shown its willingness to just, as it has throughout history, as throughout its entire history, just throw bodies at a problem until the problem ends. There is no, for like sort of what you said earlier. There's a clear vision and obviously I can't think of the term that I'm trying to use, but like a sort of a pride behind the mission, and it's not going to be able to be derailed by just pretty words,
I guess the Russian identity, the national identity, has been pretty strong.
Yeah.
They also don't spend that much time teaching their army about pronouns. So
yeah, or putting tampons in men's washrooms. Yeah.
Yeah, they are quite focused on just creating strong individuals ready to fight. You did say like just throwing bodies into the meat grinder. I think you can look at Ukraine right now and the fact that there's conscription going on, and they've expanded the age range for conscription, meaning that they're running out of bodies that way. They're running out of willing people to fight on the battlefield. So it feels like right now, through the money and resources that's being just funneled into Ukraine, lives are being lost endlessly where potentially peace could have been negotiated earlier on if this adversarial relationship wasn't established. And I think Putin, he was mentioning kind of the NATO dynamic to it. And when the Soviet Union collapsed, part of those discussions was that NATO would never, there would be no established NATO bases directly beside Russia. And the whole fact that NATO exists is because of the Soviet threat. So for NATO to exist, and Russia's not in NATO, for them to continue to exist and then expand and get closer to Russia, what is that like? What message is that sending?
Well, of course. I mean, that's the inverse is not mentioned enough about just how much of a thorough, unending, brutal strike would occur if the Russians ever had the notion of putting military outposts on the Mexican border,
or in Saskatchewan. I think
or
Saskatchewan would be a great place for.
Yeah, or on the coast, just off the coast of Alaska, or something like that, or on an island on the west coast. Like,
put something in Cuba, what would happen then?
Yeah. We'll never know, but it's it's just silly when you think about it. Like, just for more than 5 seconds, of course, you can, as you said, but at the very, very beginning when you began telling me about this, it was a reframing of an Aristotelian quote of it is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain an idea without accepting it. And of course, we can hold the ideas in our mind simultaneously that, yes, of course, Putin is a dictator. Of course, he's a megalomaniac. Of course, he's, done the exact same things that we all despise Justin Trudeau over, like debanking people and taking political prisoners. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't have a point about if the U.S. wants to put long-range missile silos on the Ukrainian border next to Russia. Of course, there's going to be issue taken with that, and it's completely reasonable to have issue taken with